Okay, gents, this video is going to go through our work examples for our angle sum. So you will have gone through a video which has shown you how we determine the angle sum of a triangle to be 180 degrees, how we know that the exterior angle is equal to the opposite two interior angles, as well as that we know the sum of the interior angles of a quadrilateral are 360 degrees. So we're going to go through some work examples, which you'll have a copy of, and you're going to make notes as I go through them. So as you can see in our first example here, our triangle is an equilateral triangle. So we've got three equal sides, which means we have three equal angles. So if we have three equal angles, we know that angle A, B, and C is 180 degrees. If the three of them are equal, and in this case here we've used the letter D, that means we've got D plus D plus D is 180. So 1D is going to be equal to 180 divided by 3, which is 60 degrees. In example 2, again, we write our rule that angle A plus B plus C is 180 degrees. If you want to on your triangle, you can label your vertices so that you know which angle you were talking about. So here, angle A is going to be 30, angle B is 30, and angle C is our unknown, which in this case here is letter I, and that equals 180. Now, we know that 30 plus 30 is 60. And then to move that to the other side, we need to do our opposite operation. So we currently have positive 60 here. So to move it to the other side, we need to subtract it because 60 minus 60 will then give us 0. And we must do that on the other side as well. So we now have that I is 120 degrees. Our third example, we want to find the value of A and X. So we know that we've got 30 and 90 in our triangle that is given. Our right angle we know is equal to 90 degrees. So for our interior angles, we've got A plus B plus C is 180 degrees. We know that angle B and C are 90 and 30. And angle A is our unknown. 90 plus 30 is 120. So A plus 120 is 180. To move 120 to the other side, we need to subtract 120. And so A is equal to 60 degrees. Now to find X, we have two methods that we can use. We can use our straight line rule, which tells us that we know that two angles on a straight line add up to 180, or we can use our exterior angle rule, which is that our exterior angle D is equal to the opposite two interior angles. So in this case here, it's angle B and C. So B plus C is equal to angle D. Now B plus C is 90 plus 30. So angle D is 120 degrees, which is labeled with letter X here. So we would rename that and say that X is equal to 120 degrees. Okay, work example 4. We've got an isosceles triangle that has been given to us. Now, from our last lesson, we know that with an isosceles triangle, the two angles contained within the base of the equal sides are equal. So we can find one of these angles by using our straight line rule. So our straight line rule is that two angles that form a straight line is equal to 180 degrees. So that means that our unknown angle plus 118 has to equal 180 degrees. So to move 118 to the other side, we need to subtract. So we subtract 118 from 180. And that means that our angle is equal to 62 degrees. So these two angles here are both 62 degrees. And then we're able to find our third angle, because our angle sum of a triangle is that A plus B plus C is 180 degrees. We know that our bottom two angles are 62. So 62 plus 62 is 124. To move 124 to the other side, we need to subtract. So we subtract 124 from both sides. So angle X is going to be 56 degrees. Okay, we then have 4 more examples to go through. So our next example is, again, our sum of our interior angles. So our interior angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. In this case here, we've got 21 plus 27 plus C has to equal 180. I can simplify this because 21 and 27 equals 48. I then need to rearrange and move 48 to the other side. So to move 48 to the other side, I need to subtract. So I minus 48 on both sides. So C is going to equal 132 degrees, which makes sense. It looks like it's an obtuse angle, so 132 degrees would be a logical answer. For this next work example, we have an isosceles triangle. Now we're going to work with the interior triangle first. So the interior angles of the triangle, we know that they add to get 180 degrees. We know that this angle here is equal to this angle, as it's an isosceles triangle, so we can label both of them with D. So what this means is that D plus 50 has to equal 180 degrees. D plus D is 2D, plus 50 is 180. To move 50 to the other side, we need to subtract. So we minus 50 from both sides. So we then have 2D is 130 degrees. And to move 2 to the other side, we know that in between the 2 and the D, there is a little multiplication sign. So the opposite of that is division. So we divide both sides by 2. So that means that D is equal to 65 degrees. Okay, and then you can double check because you can go 65 plus 65 is 130, plus 50 is 180, which adds up to our interior angles of our triangle. We then have our exterior angle rule to find this angle out here, which is angle C in this case. So if I want to find angle C here, our rule is that A plus B equals angle D for our exterior angles. In this case here, with the labeling, it's going to be that 50 plus our angle D, which we just found was 65, equals our exterior angle. So we're going to substitute those values in. So we end up with 50 plus 65 equals our external angle, which in this case is labeled C. 50 plus 65 is 115 degrees for that exterior angle C. So make sure each time we write our rule first, and then we substitute in using the variables that are given to us in the question. Our last 2 examples are going through our angle sum of quadrilaterals. So remembering that our rule for a quadrilateral is that A plus B plus C plus D is equal to 360 degrees. If I label my quadrilateral here with A, B, C, and D, we can then substitute our information in. So we've got 36 plus X plus 75 plus 90 is 360 degrees. I'm then going to put X at the front, and then we're going to add our other values. So 75 plus 36 is 111, plus 90 is 201, and that equals 360. To move 201 to the other side, we need to subtract, so we're minusing 201 from both sides. So that means that X is going to equal 159 degrees. Our last example here, again, we have the same rule. So A plus B plus C plus D is 360 degrees. Again, we label A, B, C, and D. We then substitute our information in. So we've got 55 plus 50 plus 35 plus X is 360. 55 plus 50 is 105, plus 35 is 140. To move 140 to the other side, we subtract. So we're going to subtract 140 from both sides. So x equals 220 degrees. Okay, so that's your both examples for our angle sum of triangles and quadrilaterals, as well as our exterior angle of a triangle rule. You're now going to go and work through LQ3.